Hey guys, this is John, and I'm playing Butters in the 3-minute pool on ICC. Let's play a con against Butters. Is this a South Park reference? Could be. Let's go knight f6. Early f4. They're being aggressive. Okay, let's play knight bd7 against this line. This is like a bishop g5 knight orf, except the bishop is not on g5. This is the same type of setup that white chooses in that line. Vladimir Hamitevici is the IM in question in this one. Okay, so here they're trying to go g5. I could play h6. It's an interesting move. Let's do that. So g5 we take, and then play knight e5. It's possible. I could also play knight c5 if I want. But somehow I trust this a little bit more. Let's do now. He's just trying to like outright hurt me. e5 maybe? Could be decent. e5, I'm not sure about that. Maybe h5 is interesting. Let's try h5. Because now he can't play h3 in reply, so at least we can do this. And then maybe put the knight on f6 or c5. Let's play knight c5. We need to guard e6 better.
Check.
So that's why we're playing this way. We'll take the queen. This is bizarre. The structure is already really weird. We've got a knight on g4 and knight on c5. He's already like kind of disturbed our king a little bit. He can whisk his king away to the queen side if he wants. So that's maybe one argument in favor of his position. Is e5 at all decent now? Let's play bishop d7. Maybe I'll still go for e5. I just feel like getting my king to safety first. Seems like a good plan. If he castles, he might have to worry about a bit about the a2 pawn. Like in the event I play e5, my queen would be opened up against that. It's probably not a huge deal, though. b4. Okay, so knight a4. Or do I want to play e5? Or do I take on d3? So many options. Okay, let's just take. e5. Still this e5 move is cropping up. Let's do e5. We'll fight for a right to control the center. Let's take here. Okay with the swap. b4 is weak. You just send the knight in like that? Really? So if I trade with you, he's just going to take back. I can't take his knight on d4 because he has knight c7. King e7. Yeah, that's no good. Let's just do this. Wonder if knight b6 is ever an issue. Complicated stuff, guys. I might castle kingside if allowed. Like, say, knight f5, bishop takes f5, e takes f5. Maybe. You never know. Maybe we'll castle short. He could castle short right now, too, with check.
Check.
Okay. King g6, probably knight f5 will be the answer. Let's go back. King e8. We'll keep our king in the center. I think he's still going to play knight f5, though. Now we pretty much have to take. This knight is a problem. That's a strong piece right there. Let's go bishop e7. No. Okay, we'll do this. And then we'll play bishop e7. I want to try to convince him to trade. He can go knight c7 and win my rook in the corner, but I win this pawn. Maybe I get something out of it. He actually took. Wow.
Check.
Surprised. My knight controls f6. I think he should have gone knight c7. I think he should have played that way. He's going to double up. Okay. Let's go b5. So my rook might be a little bit glued to the back rank. For now, I think it's fine, though. there, huh? Okay, let's go here.
Time warning.
Tricky stuff. Let's bring our king back. Take this way. Our knight is out of the game, though. Like, what are we going to do about that? It's kind of getting dominated. Both very low on time. Me more so than him. If bishop c5, we can, like, swing our rook over. Let's go here. We'll try to get a pass pawn right away. Get a pretty quick pass pawn.
Check.
Yeah, we can get it down there at a cool clip. Come over here. Yeah, what's he going to do now? Put the king on g7 next. Yeah, I went on time. Ooh, intense down the stretch. He might have been winning there. Might have been winning. Yeah, and I didn't see knight c7, actually. I just fortunately saw that I could, like, after knight c7, I'm not, like, losing right away. King d7, knight takes a8, bishop takes h4. Let's say king e2, rook takes a8. He has rook f7, though, at the end. So surely that must be good. Let's take a look at this. So f4, I played d6 because I don't want to see e5 be played. He played queen f3. And I was commenting that it's like a bishop g5 Najdorf, except the bishop's sitting back here. Knight bd7, he played g4. Yeah, you know, I'm never quite sure how to handle this early g4, g5 advance, kicking the knight away, because the knight doesn't have too many squares. Like, one thing you can do is you can do this and try to free up the d7 square. You can play h6 like I did. h5 here wouldn't be as good because he can play g5, and then after knight g4, there's h3. The knight is trapped. So maybe I should play knight c5. I might do that in retrospect. Yeah, computer likes it. I played h6, he went h4. Again, I should play knight c5. I played h5 instead, trying to anchor the knight in on g4. He went g6, so trying to get this pawn to move so he can play knight takes e6. I went knight c5 instead, though, covering e6.
Check.
He took with check, I took with the queen. Bishop d2. Bishop d7. Okay, looks reasonable. Yeah, b4. b4 surprised me. I didn't see that move coming at all. As soon as it was played, it crossed my mind like, oh no, my knight's trapped. But then I came to my senses and realized like knight a4 and knight takes d3 are possible.
Check.
So I took here, he took with the pawn. And here g6 would have been good. Ah, fianchettoing the bishop. Clever. And actually, the king side is looking nice for me. I can probably tuck my king away there, and he's going to have a hard time giving me grief about that. The knight on g4 does a good job of blocking any g-file play. I played e5 instead, but yeah. On second glance, this knight d5 move that he has coming up is a very good antidote. Take. Yep, knight d5. And if I take d4, he gets this check in.
Check.
Forking my king and rook. Worse yet, after here, maybe bishop g5
check.
Is good. I'd have to play knight f6. He can take. He's also threatening e5. My position is in shambles. So bishop d6 was just played to cover the c7 square.
Check.
He traded, and yeah, he's probably
check.
A little bit better. Maybe he should have castled right now. Because he castles, he gets to check on the file just as he did in the game, but he connects his rooks together too. It's hard to believe his king will be anywhere else better off. Maybe he thought he could keep his king in the center.
Check.
Maybe he just forgot he could castle. Who knows? The knight came into f5. Yeah, looks like maybe knight f6 would have been a better option. Trying to challenge that knight. So we traded. I went g6. Went rook back. It does seem like I'm worse here because, I mean, this kind of boils down to just comparing the two knights. My knight looks nice on g4, but it doesn't really have much to attack. His knight has a lot of options from the center. I have to be extremely careful. Yeah, and this move was just a flat-out blunder because he has knight c7. But I guess he didn't notice either. I'm pretty sure if he had noticed this move, he would have played it. So he took, I took. Maybe now I'm like relatively okay. Looks like he still has an advantage because even here, like his minor piece advantage persists. My knight is out of the game. But at this point, it was boiling down to a time scramble. It was a pretty big time differential. Glad I was able to make some magic happen here. I guess he like shouldn't really move his bishop from g5 voluntarily. Or maybe he shouldn't allow me to get a pass pawn is a better way of phrasing that. Actually, the computer says all these moves are fine. Then again, the eval isn't like going up drastically, so maybe this is all right. I did see that I could play this move, but I was worried that his b pawn would be a runaway train. So I just kind of figured like he'd be distracted by my h pawn. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just glossing through this conclusion because there's so many mistakes. I mean, you can't seriously analyze this when you were both under 10 seconds. It's just too tough. So here, rook f2 would have been better, or rook f7. Rook f7 makes sense because it attacks the bishop, and I also prepared this like interference idea, rook h7, making sure his rook can't defend against the pawn promoting. So that might have been a winning move. Yeah, I mean, hard to say in the time scramble like where he went astray. I just went for like the only source of counterplay I could find. I played g5 here because I figured trying to like go win the h pawn and then somehow like try to move my pawns would be way too time consuming. By then he's gonna have like his pawn on like b6 or b7 or something. So g5, we got to go with it. It's actually a pretty good resource. Yeah, and I suspect white can figure out a way to win it. Like rook a5. Let's just look at the engine line. Something like this. Stick the rook on h1, king e2 maybe. Okay. Yeah, and once he neutralizes that h pawn, then the b pawn is going to have its say. But in a time scramble, it's a complete toss-up. So, interesting game. Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, a typical, like, messy Sicilian game. Lots of stuff going on very early in this one when he decides to play g4 on move 9. That really shakes it up. I wish I would have played knight c5, though, and not this h6, h5 idea. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back tomorrow with another Blitz video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.